back at it again, baby, and we have a huge topic of debate absolutely being debunked. Let's dive in.
Explain to these folks, please, for us, what's so racist about the Georgia law?
Yeah, I mean, there's math on this, right? Like, and I know that Lindsey Graham, that sick man, doesn't believe in math, but there's math on this. And we know that when we do things like voter IDs, when we close down early voting, when we stop mail-in voting, we know that it disproportionately affects Black and brown people. That's just science, Lindsey. Look, all this is the, when you look at something like the National Review article today from Kevin Williamson, last seen advocating for women to be hanged if they seek an abortion, they didn't do anything new. The Republicans are not doing anything new. They are Columbusing the idea that any white man with two ducats to scratch together has had since the founding of this country, and that is a hemisphere of their own. All they want is a hemisphere where white people are the only ones that matter. We have tried in the Constitution 4 times to stop.
1 year later.
Tomorrow is the last day of early voting before the primary on Tuesday. We are seeing record-breaking numbers this cycle. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's office says as of last night, more than 565,000 people have cast their ballots. That's a 153% increase from the same point in the early voting period in the 2018 primary election, and it's a 189% increase from the 2020 primary election.
Well, sounds like people, Black folks in particular, brown folks, Latino, my Latino brothers and sisters, sounds like we know how to get an ID, huh? What a coinky dink. I thought we were all stupid. I thought we all had no clue. I just thought I was stupid. I just didn't know where to go, what to do, how to get online, order one. I don't know.
Today we asked him about those numbers.
What's your reaction to this record-breaking voter turnout?
It's fantastic. What it shows is it's never been easier to vote in Georgia, but we have the appropriate guardrails so that security's in place. And when you have strong security, that elevates people's confidence in the process.
So, absolutely destroyed previous numbers. Destroyed. I think it was like 189% up. Crazy amount of numbers. Crazy numbers right there. Setting records. But people have to present an ID. So, but according to some folks, if you have to present an ID, that would stop people from being able to go up and participate, but you have record numbers? How does that make any sense? Does it, like 2 + 2 isn't adding up to 4. Like it's like 11. How does that work? That's a record for 2 + 2. Maybe I'm just not so good at math. I don't know. It's crazy when it all comes crashing down. I'm sure they've come up with some way to, or the gentleman there has come up with some way to twist why this is happening. There's been, I'm sure there's some kind of twist to it at this point, but yeah, I'm honestly curious at this point what the excuse would be for record numbers, even after a R-word law that ends with ist. I can't say it because YouTube is a little weird about certain words and topics and things, so I have to dance around a little bit. I apologize, but that's YouTube, okay? But I'm honestly curious as to what the excuse would be, because people have figured out ways to make all types of excuses for things happening that are just like the wildest things ever. And listening to it is maddening, but I'm curious now. But let's continue.
During the early voting period.
Yeah, the Secretary of State's office reports that as of 4:15 this afternoon, some 820,000 registered voters had cast their ballots in this year's primary already, including more than 100,000 who voted today. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live from a busy polling place in Buckhead tonight. Deidre?
Impressive numbers indeed, Russ, and certainly voters we talked to across the metro area today expressing that they also saw heavy turnout at their own polling places, much of like what we're experiencing here at the Buckhead Library this afternoon. Scenes like this one playing out at those polling locations across metro Atlanta. Many hoping to avoid lines by voting early still had to wait in lines like this one to cast those ballots today.
Even when you try to avoid the lines by going up there early, you're hit with lines. How is this possible, though? You gotta present an ID.
Dozens of Atlanta residents waited patiently in line for an opportunity to cast their ballot at the Buckhead Library Friday afternoon.
For me, I feel it's like the only thing I have that can make a difference, and we fought so hard for this opportunity to stand in line and vote.
Thousands of Georgians took advantage of early voting.
I was hoping for shorter lines.
Turning out in record numbers across the state during the 3-week early voting period.
We want people in office who can help us make a difference and bring impact to our communities.
According to the Secretary of State's office, as of Thursday, more than 700,000 people have early voted in Georgia, a 180% increase from the same period in 2018.
180% increase. 180%. Astonishing numbers. Crazy numbers. Kudos to all those wonderful Americans. Great job.
I think that we are determined to keep up the momentum as we did on the previous election to make sure our voices are heard.
Republicans have cast the most ballots during the early voting period, more than 400,000 as of Thursday, compared to just under 300,000 ballots cast by Democrats. GOP political strategist Brian Robinson said,
and this is still early. This talk about the early vote.
The huge turnout proves Georgia's new election laws do not make it harder for people to vote.
Any claims to the contrary are being blown out of the water by the fact that every legal voter has 3 weeks of early voting and then Tuesday to show up if they haven't done it yet.
Now, based on those early voting numbers, it is anticipated by experts that we could see a huge turnout on Election Day on Tuesday, and possibly in some areas, some of those long lines that typically come with those numbers. Reporting in Buckhead, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
So, it turns out the old saying, making people present an ID, it's going to disproportionately discriminate against brown and black folks. It's going to suppress the vote. Oh, interesante. Well, according to recent numbers, listen, I don't mind people fighting for, the good of humanity. But let's make sure that it's facts. Okay, let's make sure that it's not just lip service and just something that sounds good. Let's make sure that it's rooted in facts. And this whole ID situation is not rooted in fact. And we are watching it play out live. This isn't something that we have to, flip through a book, the pages of an old book and read about, like we're watching it live play out. Here's proof. Here's the proof. And like I said earlier, I would be really interested in hearing what anybody that was totally against ID would say about this situation. I wonder what they would say. What's the excuse? And honestly, I feel like saying such a thing is more of the R word that ends in ist than anything else, because you're saying that people that look like me or my Latino brothers and sisters are too stupid to figure out how to get an ID or too stupid to order one. Like that's just mind blowing. Oh my God, they're too stupid to figure it out. Huh? Excuse me. Right? That's insulting to me. Oh, I can't figure it out. Okay. Okay. All right. I see what you think of me. I see exactly what you think of me. It's a slap in the face. That's exactly what it is. It's just a slap in the face. And it's just mind-boggling that individuals would even say a thing like that, you know? But hey, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. All right? Peace and love. I'm out.